Want to know what a real man would tell their lady about love and life? You're in the right place. This is Hello Ladies with Rom Wills. Rom Wills is a speaker and author of several books on relationships. Grab some wine, sit back, and enjoy.
Hello, ladies. Welcome to my spot. The problem with what women say publicly about what they want. Oh my goodness. And I know some of y'all might have seen my podcast over on my men's channel and stuff. And I'm going to get into that a little bit on this one too. But there is, you know what? I was watching like one of those numerous shows they tend to have on about, and they'll have some women on. In this case, they had particularly black women. But this could be any race. This could be any race or any group of women talking. Right. And I've noticed this because not just in TV shows, I've seen this in live seminars, which is why I don't really do them like I used to. I've seen this in like women's magazines. Even been in places where there was a group of women talking privately. Now, understand, when I've been in places where it was a group of women talking privately, depending on the situation, and which men are there as well, the women might be totally honest and totally blunt, or they might still give the same. They might give the same general public answers. Now I'm talking about the ones where they give the public answers. The ones they've been really like honest is when it might be just me and maybe a couple other guys who the women would see as select, and they would be totally honest then. But here's the problem I see. Okay, so you get these women on these TV shows, seminars, magazine articles. They'll talk about what they want in a man. And they'll always say the personality traits, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. They'll say, oh, okay. Because I was watching this one show, and it was they were saying, well, yeah, we want him to be mature, responsible, dependable. Okay. Nothing wrong with that. But then I said, but then I started thinking about it. I was like, okay, she said the personality traits, but what is she like physically? Because, okay, when you talk about personality traits, first of all, a lot of times a guy might have that. Even like I've constantly seen women complain about how a guy might approach him, or if he approach him, maybe they might see him as too short, too big, or he might not have had a good line or a good conversation when he first approached him, right? But the thing is, with those traits, you can't see that in a few seconds of a conversation. You really can't. And you would have to get to know the man. You would have to see him. That's like one of the things, personality traits that women talk about are traits that you can't show them in one time. You got to see it consistently. You got to see him being dependable consistently. Accountable, responsible, maturity. Because you can catch somebody at a certain moment and think they're a very immature person because they just clowning. But then see them in another situation, they're extremely mature. In fact, they're a take charge type of person. But see, this is what women say. But here's the problem. You're not seeing the rest. Now, I talked about on my other channel about, the women's double standards. How a lot of women, regardless of what they look like, want a certain type of man, certain physical traits, right? And unfortunately, the physical traits tend to be over the top. That's the biggest problem with it. That's the biggest problem with it. They tend to be like the dudes got to be, 6 feet, whatever, perfectly built, smile, everything, haircut right, everything. Those tend to be over the top. Now, that's a bad thing because, yeah, it is over the top. How many dudes are going to have that? But at the same time, it would be more of a good thing if women were at least, if they're going to say, okay, I want these personality traits, but I want it in a guy that looks like this. As long as the women are realistic about it. What I mean by realistic, everybody has a type. Everybody has a type. And if a woman and every woman, and yeah, I already know this. I've dealt with too many of y'all to not know this. I've been taught this by women. Every woman has a range of men that they could deal with. Yeah, there's that ideal man, but then there's, you might want that guy who's 6'2", real muscular, beautiful smile, look like a model or something. But, a lot of women deal with the guy. It's like, okay, well, he could stand to lose 10 pounds and, instead of 6'4" or something, he 5'10", and, his teeth are decent. Face is decent. But if a woman said that, it would actually be more honest. If a woman would just say, okay, this is what we want. Because that's actually what confuses a lot of guys. Ladies, I'm going to tell you what, that confuses a lot of guys, because you got many good men who got those traits. There are many good men got all the good traits. Whatever a woman says, every single good thing that women say they want in a guy publicly, personality traits, are there. But you know what? A lot of times those guys are usually put into the nice guy category or just the friend category. Because ladies, we know y'all ain't hanging out with no guy realistically on just a friend basis if he ain't had something that interested you. Like, you're not using him or anything. He got something about him that's good for you. We know this, ladies. Come on. All right? But, he's good for you, at least on that personality thing, but you're not physically attracted to it. And, it confuses the men when they hear it. That's why a lot of guys, look, I know a lot of women might come to this channel, or they might see some of the channels right here on YouTube, and they'll see the guys complaining. They'll see the guys saying something. Oh, and real quick for the guys listening, hang back on this one. Let me take care of this one. Hang back on this one. But, you see them and wondering, but that's why. That's one of the biggest reasons why. You got a lot of guys who have the precise traits that women say publicly. They got the precise traits that are listed in the magazines. You got the precise traits that women go to these public seminars or even webinars now and say, hey, I want this in a man. Like the precise personality traits. But it ain't the physical thing. Like, I remember a woman I dealt with a long time ago. She put me in a friend zone. I ain't gonna lie. And she wasn't trying to holler at her brother. And she kept saying all this stuff she liked in a guy. All this stuff. She even said classical music. I was like, well, I work out the classical music. And I'm doing this. I'm in school. I was doing all that good stuff. But then later on, I found out, well, she was actually a colorist. I wasn't light-skinned enough for her. But that's the thing. And you start learning that. And this is the problem. If you're going to say one, you need to say the other. Now, even with the over-the-top thing, which I say is an issue, if women were just a bit more honest about the total package they want, then guys could know. And it's going to bother some dudes. It's going to bother some dudes. But at least the dudes will know. And then the dude might even know, it's like, oh, I ain't what you want physically. Let me move on. But see what the guys are hearing, though. They hearing all the personality traits, which they know they got. And then they get frustrated because it's like, well, hold up. I got all these traits. How come she ain't talking? This is what she's been saying. This is what a group of women are saying. And that becomes a real issue. It becomes a real issue. And I know some women say, well, we'll get judged on it and everything. Well, you know what? It's actually better to get that little bit of pain if it is going to cause some pain to get a lot of pain. Like a seminar, I'll never forget this one seminar. That seminar was advertised as something where we were going to talk about sex. It was advertised that way. That was the main subject matter. Got into that seminar, I'm up here talking to women being extremely quiet. Except for one woman. Oh, she was arguing with me back and forth. Then when we got outside, just among her friends, away from the big crowd, she said everything I said was correct. And then she pointed out the people in there didn't want to talk about sex because they didn't want to put out what they really thought. And one of the dudes who was one of the hosts for the thing, he said, well, that's a problem. Because then now we just wasted, and it really was. Yeah, I got paid, but it was a waste. We supposed to be talking about something, but the women didn't want to talk about it. And that's where the thing is. You're talking about the personality stuff, but we gotta get the full picture. Then we know. It's better we know like the entire picture. And then we can deal with it. But see, we getting just a part of the picture and then getting frustrated when the woman is still acting funky over it. You know? And it's confusing a lot of men, and then that's where their rage comes from. Because they were taught, hey, this is what they saying, this is what they want. You know? And it leads to some other things which I'm trying to deal with on the men's side. You know? So anyway, I want y'all to consider that. And that's what the problem is. And that's what the problem is. Only part of the picture is shared. So anyway, I want y'all to think about that. I'll get back with y'all later. Peace and blessings.